All right, as always, here's the risk disclosure. Trading futures is risky. Know what you're doing before you do it, and you can lose all your money. Also, this live stream is not financial advice. It is for educational purposes only, and the live stream is not intended to copy my trades. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We had Netflix earnings yesterday afternoon. No earnings this morning, but next week there's quite a few in the morning that need to be aware of. Morning, everybody. Yeah, it was like right at the close when the Netflix came out. Or right after the close, I think. All right, let's see what we have going on today. We have 30-tick chart. Nice little run up. Double clusters at a deviation dynamic magnet. So let's see if it wants to chop or reverse trend. Typically after a long run, that's the case. But let's see. 50-tick chart is in just a straight up. Looked pretty ugly overnight. After the open, or after midnight, I should say. Little run up, little run down, chop, not many bars. And then now we have this big long run up here. So let's see. Simplicity looking like it wants to flip short, but let's see what happens here. Morning. Technically, Simplicity short right now. Well, actually, there was already one. A technical entry back in this area, but I would have waited to break this ZOI before shorting. Let's see if it goes. The Netflix earnings is a big one, and it did. Earnings met expectations. Came out as expected that I looked at, except they did add millions more subscribers than expected. So, potentially that could help move the market long, which it has been. Just don't know if it'll keep going. Sim tried multiple times to confirm short. Is that an indication of weakness of a short move? Yeah, it could be, Doctor. Yeah, it could be. That's just showing you that there is a pretty strong support there. Yeah, I'd agree with that. The double clusters right here, as it's coming down to that support, that immediate support, you can see it came down to it back here. Tried again and actually gave a sniper entry. Down here again as well. Now trying a fourth time. Remember, after the third time, there's a chance it could break. But at the immediate moment, it gave double clusters and went up. So that does tell me that buyers were still in charge there, but now this is the fourth shot. It may break it. That is an early entry short, simplicity short underneath. I don't like the way that is, but because it's not as smooth. But it did break through. Now let's see what it wants to do. Yeah, for sure. I'm with you on that, Dan. Especially knowing the conditions pre-market has been the last few weeks, last couple weeks. You know, it's like really need to have extra patience and wait for better trades. We do have some. Oh, never mind. That's Canadian news. I was gonna say we have news at 8:30, but it's Canadian. It may still move the market a little bit because of what it is, but probably not. Not much. $11,431. Stopped out. What trade did you take, Doctor? Did you take that the early entry short? Yeah, so there's two entries, Jean, for simplicity. I mean, as you mentioned there, you sounds like you know that, but the early entry is so like, okay, let's look back here real quick while nothing's going on. When they're both green and going up, right? And then it flips to red. Well, before it flips, like right here, because typically as it's going, if a short trend is going, you want the solid line is going to be the one on top and the dashed line on the bottom, right? And that's going down in a trend. Actually, let me go to a better. Here we go. This is cleaner. So this is a simplicity trend, right? So solid lines on the bottom because it's going long. Dashed line is on the top. Now back here, you see how they haven't flipped yet? The solid, I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can. The solid lines on the top right here on this green line and the dashed lines on the bottom, they haven't flipped yet. So that's when it's an early entry, when it hasn't flipped. If they're both angled up and that next bar breaks the high, that would be an early entry because it hasn't flipped. In this case, that didn't happen because it didn't break the high and it wasn't quite angled up. So you would wait until it does flip like it did here. Now it flipped and the solid line's on the bottom, and now you'll get your regular entry. Does that make sense? And that's all an early entry is. It's just before they flipped if it gives you the angle up in the break of the high or the angle down in the break of the low. So like right here, this is ugly choppy, but you can see angle down, and if it's going short, solid line should be on the top. But because it's on the bottom and they're both angled down and this bar wick right here broke the low of this one, that would be a technical early entry short. But it's ugly because it's, choppy. Same thing back here. It's still ugly, but you have the dashed line angled down, solid line angled down, and the solid line's on the bottom, and it broke the bottom, so that's early entry. And then it flips. You can see how it flips right here. Flips, and then you get the both angled downs in the break of the low. Yeah, if you take the simplicity entries, those are great. And actually, if you see a solid entry, so in my first LRE video, I explain how to take simplicity because that's important when you're taking an LRE. You got to know what's a valid simplicity and when it's a good simplicity to take because, it gives a lot of false signals. But there's times like back here, I'm not taking, even if you had an early entry, regular entry, I'm not taking it right here. Because you can see everywhere on the 10 tick, simplicity, we're going, there's a top and bottom. We're going left to right. So I would wait for it to break out first. So in that scenario, if you have an area like this strong ZOI that's bounced off of multiple times, and then you get a short below it, if it's an early entry, that's a great time to take it because then, you are early. You don't have to, if you wait for the regular entry, you could be in 10, 15, 20 ticks after that early entry. So if you take the simplicity entries themselves, which I don't though, I don't personally, but if you take the regular entries, simplicity entries, you could take the early or the normal ones if you see a point of a good area for it to break out of or a good level, you're looking to break, things like that. So it's trying to make its way down. Still a couple of these ZOIs here. I like if this pulls back to go short because one of my rules for LRE is retesting a breakout bottom or top. And that's what we'll have. It could bounce here, but it's definitely trying to go short. But because it couldn't break this bottom, took 4 tries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tries to break it. came down and still didn't cleanly break it, but now it's going. And if this pulls back up to this bottom again for a test, then I'll go short off of it. We did just make a crash on the 30 tick, so we'll see what happens. It may not pull all the way back up there. Yeah, exactly. Jean, that's part of it, and that's where people get really mixed up with taking simplicity. Because there's some days that it doesn't matter. You just get in simplicity trade and it's going to go. And then there's other days where you're going to get killed because you're just taking every entry. And I see that so many times with people that just try to jump into simplicity. And that's because they're not reading the OP correctly. And that's why even Daryl says all the time, you got to read the OPs on the, the 30 and the 10, really. You got to master sniper first. That's why they always preach that, because simplicity can look easy, and then you can get some quick success with it, but then you can also just get crushed easily. It would be nice if this ran down just a little bit more so we can pull back up to this ZOI crash and go short from there. Right now, an LRE would be just a couple points above that ZOI crash, so I'd be looking to take an LRE somewhere in this area to go short. Wow, that was a big spike. Well, that's that. I'm gonna go short off this crash. Hopefully, this spike is not something that's gonna just blow up. See if this crash holds here. Yeah, that just blew right through. Okay, that just blew right through. And actually, that lost way more. That was it. Yeah, that just made me hit my loss limit for the day. Dang. Just trying to figure out what happened there, but yeah, sure enough. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I think that's what it is. That Canadian news. Look, now it's getting back on track to where it was going. But man, that just caused, even though it was about 3 minutes after the news, it took a little spike up and came down. That's got to be the only thing. Okay, well, that's my day. Dang. I was not expecting that one. Yeah, and see, now it goes back down on track. Yeah, because you can see, because, well, my tick management tool worked. It shut off my data. That's why you're seeing all my orders here from all my accounts. I was like, what happened there? Because that was quick. Well, I can't now because my tool shut. I have no data. The only reason why my charts are still running. See, look, if I go here, I only have my sim accounts there. I have no data. See, the only reason why my charts are still going is because I have I'm connected to my Kinetic. And it went so fast that my P&L here couldn't even what's it called? Update. Like right here in my bottom here, it went so fast and shut my data off so quick and closed all my trades out that it didn't even register how many ticks I lost. Which, let me see how many I lost. It was a little more than my 30 ticks. Let's see, that's 175. I lost $175 on that trade. I lost 35 ticks. So my tick limit's 30. Yeah, because I lost 175 on it. My tick limit's $35. I mean, 30 ticks. So yeah, I lost 35 ticks on that. Yeah, everything's closed. I checked everything. Everything's closed. I always have my rhythmic up. Always. Yeah, that Lorex was right before my trade, but I wasn't too concerned about it because we were making a nice trend down, and that Lorex wasn't off of anything. Like, it wasn't bouncing off anything. And the fact that it went and got its scalp already. So whenever I go against the Lorex, is if it's a really strong Lorex, I'm not going to go against it. But because a simplicity or an LRE is a trend, right? So Lorex, if it comes counter trend, usually it's not going to go and completely reverse the trend. So after it goes a few bars, if it goes 3 or 4 bars, then I'm okay going against the Lorex. And that's right here. You know, you got 1, 2, 3. I got in after it would have taken its scalp. And then off this crash here, it's just, I really think that news for that Canadian news spiked up and just, that's what messed it up. As you can see, it's made its way back down. I don't know where I exited. It went so fast. Let me see. Let's see. Where did I exit? Where did it get me out at? I'd have to see. That's the thing. That's why I love this tool, because I can't just, if I reconnect, like I have to go into the tool. See, I'll have to go in here into indicators and go down to the tool and turn off the disconnect, but then my charts are going to recalculate. That's going to take a while. But let's see, where did it? Let me look in my rhythmic here. I got in at here. I got the marker, my entry marker, 2850 or 11/4/28/25 is where I got in. It got me out at 11/4/37. So basically, I had 20 ticks of slippage. 5-point slippage on that. Crazy. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Just have to come back next week. I mean, yeah, Vegas. I mean, that had to be. There's no other reason for it to just spike like that. Especially with no orders to fill me to give me a 5-point slippage. Yeah, that had to be in use. But see, you know, and let me say this too. It's been, pre-market has been pretty rough. in January so far. But for this account, I'm only down just shy of $300. All it takes is 1.5 good days to recover that. So, I mean, I am not worried about it at all, to be honest. It does make for a crappy Friday. Fridays, are the days that you don't want to make a mistake, right? You don't want to do something stupid. You don't want to go out of control, because then you got to think about it the whole weekend. In this case, I don't care. I'm not worried about it, because it was something that was just pretty random, and that can happen in trading, right? A flux of orders can come in randomly and do that. I didn't do nothing stupid, so I'm not worried about it. I don't care. If I would have done something stupid, then that would be horrible. But yeah, Jean, that's exactly the purpose of it, is that, by that time, even if somebody said, you know what, I'm going to disconnect that and reload it and keep trading, that's going to take, I say, at least 10 minutes minimum. And by then, hopefully your emotions have calmed down a little bit. If you do go into that mode and it's it's loading, it's taking forever, you know what, forget it. Do I really want to break my rules? No. Do I want to survive? All right, then maybe this is not the best decision. Apex does not have this, but I am I'm told John about it, so maybe see what can come out of that. So your ninja cuts off trading to Apex if loss of tick. Yeah, that's exactly, David. If I set my own tick limit within the tool, it'll show my P&L and ticks right here. And once it hits that, it doesn't kill your trade though. If you set your threshold in Rhythmic, it'll kill your trade. If you're live in a trade and it hits that threshold, it'll knock you out, even if it hasn't hit your stop. With this, I thought it was important to not knock you out of the trade. Only whenever you're flat. It'll calculate once you're flat, and once it calculates and says, oh, you're more than your loss limit that you set for yourself, let's go ahead and shut you off from trading. It's on my website. Let me post the link. It's futuresniperbeast.com, but let me post the direct link to it. There's the link. If any of y'all want it. Just came from. Hey, good job. I want to. Congrats. That's awesome. Just read that. Congrats on that. If anybody that's on this stream live right now, if you really want that tick management tool, because you see it just worked for me. If you want it, send me a Skype or a Facebook message or something, and I'll give you a coupon to get it, half off or something of what's listed on the website. Just send me a message, because I'm really not I'm not expecting much out of it. I got it developed, but obviously I don't know how to code, so I had to pay somebody a decent little penny for it, and then I did license it through NinjaTrader, so it is licensed and being maintained on the servers. So yeah. But it's helped me a lot. It really has, as you can see, especially in the scenario. This is a perfect example. What happened to me today, there's been many times where something like that's happened to me, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I didn't do anything dumb, nothing stupid. It wasn't my fault. Maybe I'll just take another trade. Maybe I can come back from it, which technically that's kind of true. It's like Like right now, we just had, well, I'm not saying that's an LRE to take, but let's say you took this, we just had a Lorex here. What if you could have taken this Lorex? It's a double Lorex here. Make it back. But it also could lose, and now you've lost even more than what you wanted to. Now it's going to take even longer to come back from it. So, yeah. Anyways. And then I was going to say this too. Let me say this, since it's kind of an early day. Yesterday, if y'all remember my trade, I got a break-even trade, right? I had a read, and I was thinking about this last night. I was like, you know what? Went back and looked at my trade. I felt very comfortable with my read, and I felt very comfortable that I'll get about 5 points out of that trade. But if y'all remember, I moved to break even pretty quick, and I was like, yeah, I wanted to move pretty quick, and just to make sure, protect it, because I'm not expecting much out of it. And then sure enough, it knocked me out and went for the 5 points. Well, I was thinking about it last night, and I'm saying all this, I'm being very transparent. And I don't ever want to act like I know everything and that I'm like this $1 million trader, because y'all all know that I'm not. And I'm still trying to get better. So I was thinking about this, and I was like, look, if I entered a trade, I am risking a certain amount, and I'm okay with risking that. Right? I'm okay with risking that. So after I evaluated what I did yesterday, it does come down to, on that trade, I had a fear of loss, even though I didn't think I did, and I felt comfortable. But my actions tell me I had a fear of losing on that trade because I moved so quick to break even. Because my rules are, I don't move to break even until I'm about 20 ticks into the trade. Once I'm about 20 ticks into the trade, then I'll move to break even. And if it doesn't look like it's going to run, then I'll tighten up to secure 15, 20 ticks. So in that case, if that's my rules, why would I move to break even when I'm only about 7, 8 ticks into the trade? I had a great read that I thought. I was comfortable. I knew my risk. I really should have just left my stop as is until it went down to that 5 points. So just kind of, being transparent here and vulnerable, I guess, is that's what I really should have done. And I've been noticing a lot lately, going over some of my videos, is there's been a lot of times where I'm like, oh, I don't expect this to run too far, but you can get about 5 points out of this. So I'll look to move to break even pretty quick on it. And I've said that a few times. I'm like, why do I keep saying that? And I need to stop doing that. So I need to, accept the risk and follow the rules and not move to break even quickly, because even though I don't feel like it, that really is a fear of losing. That's saying with my actions that, hey, I really don't want to lose this trade, but you got to accept the risk as soon as you go in. So anyways, another little rant for the day.
Potential OP rejection on NQ.
Right, Mark. An outcome, yeah, you can do that. You can get a coin and flip it 10 times. Each time it lands on heads, give yourself 2 points. If it lands on tails, take away 1. Usually, in most scenarios, after 10 flips, you're going to be ahead. And that's money management and probability. That's all it is. So yeah, for sure. Agree with that. Yeah, David. Man, 20 years of trading. Wow. That's great. Yeah, the unknown trader. I feel like there's a lot of fakeness out there. So, I'm doing this to learn, and hopefully anybody can pick up anything on the way that I'm trying to learn. Oh yeah, I want to. Those situations. Yeah, I hate whenever and that those situations can really spark the emotions, right? And the revenge trading and everything like that. When it gets one tick away from your take profit and then comes back down and loses. It's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And then that can spark, all kinds of bad trading. Wow, David, that's awesome. Trading bought his house. He put it in the comments here. That's amazing. And that's why, you know, I want to master this so bad, and of course why everybody does. Trading has so many if we just master our minds, trading can, do so much financially. Not only well, we know financially, if it can do it financially, which brings more options to us, right? Brings freedom, all kinds of things. So, yeah.
Potential Tx on NQ. Potential double Tx on NQ.
Right, David. And that's the key. If people have a 55% win rate, that's really all you need if you can master the psychology and the money management part. If you could do that, you will be profitable. I see that. I mean, you hear Mark Douglas say that. Everybody, and it's true because numbers are numbers, right? 55% win rate, and you have great money management, the probabilities are in your favor, just plain and simple. Yeah, John. So typically my money, yeah, I like to manage it myself. I used to have an auto ATM, but then sometimes I wouldn't want it to move because of my read. Like if I had a really strong, like let's say price is pulling back and I've got this really, really strong stack, right? But it's just behind my break even. Well, I don't want to be at break even. I want to be behind that stack, like right behind it. And I'll let it sit there because even if price pulls back, chances of breaking that, especially if it's the first try, are slim. So I want to be behind it. But if you have an auto ATM that pops you up and then it pulls back and knocks you out, it's like, and then it'll run down. So that's why I did that. Yeah, I like to manage it myself and try not to and normally, like I said, normally I don't move to break even until it gets 3/4 of the way to my trade, to my profit. So if I'm going for 20, 25 ticks, I'm not moving to break even until it's like 18 to 22 ticks in profit. Then I'll move to break even. And, then I kind of just manage it from there. Does it look like, is it really having a hard time breaking this? Like really breaking it? Then maybe I'll just, hey, let me at least secure 10 ticks. And if it doesn't break, then at least I got 10 ticks versus 0. Something like that. I just kind of have to manage it. Yeah, Vegas. That's tough. That's tough what happened to you on Monday, for sure. And I agree what you said. I mean, you're in Vegas. You see it. 100% agree. 100% agree, David, on your learning to trade. I'm just going to read your comment. You said, learned early on, never trade if you need money. Trade to learn and grow slow, create rules and stick to them. That's, man, I mean, people should take that and just post that on a wall. If, I tried that myself without steady income. I've seen other people do it. I've seen people say, I only have 3 months to get this done and profitable, or else I got to go, do X, like, I don't know, get a job or do this or do that. And it does not work because it creates a sense of urgency that puts pressure on you. Like, as the days go by, every single trade matters. Every single day matters too much. And we know trading doesn't just go straight up. You don't just win, 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 win. You'll win and lose. So each loss hurts them so, and I went through this. It hurts so much, and you feel like you're getting further away, right? So like if you're like, oh, I got 3 months to do this, 90 days, but you take a loss and you're like, ooh, I got to make that up. I have to, or else I'm not gonna meet that goal. So it's completely messes people up. I have yet to see one person that has told me that situation and was successful, including myself at that moment. So I had to, that was 3 years ago. So had to make changes, and that's why I only trade pre-market. Yeah, that's low-level news, and that is a Fed member talking, holding a speech, I guess. But so that actually could, depending on how long he's going to be talking and whatever it is, could go all the way up until the open, or cause not much market movement till the open. I guess just depends. Just got to keep eyeing the market as you normally would. Yeah, Vegas. Exactly. Let me see. I'm actually going to indicators. I'm going to throw the oh, never mind. It's not going to work. See, my tool. I was going to throw my tick indicator tool on one of the flux charts, because that one doesn't take any calculation. But then then I still wouldn't be able to get on, because I'd have to, still prevents me from doing it. So, you Skype me, Vegas? Yeah, let me check it out. All right, yeah, I'm getting a few people, a few of y'all here sending me messages about it. So let me, so I'm gonna end the stream here in a few minutes. It's early. I'm done anyways, and reply to you all that are messaging me and get those situated. And thanks, David. Thanks for popping in. For sure. Next week by week, day by day. But oh, Nikita, yeah. I got stopped out on that one, and not only did I get stopped out, it looks like it popped because of Canadian news, and I had 5 points of slippage. So that was my day. That took out my entire day. So I one trade and I was done. But yeah, all right, y'all. I'm going to hop off here. Thanks for joining. See y'all next week, and I'm gonna reply to everybody that's messaged me. So everybody trade well. That's gonna be trading the rest of the day, and have a good weekend.